one upgrade that I think is a must-do for your Walther PDP. Let's take a look. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I wanted to do a quick video on one upgrade that I think is a must-do for anyone that owns a Walther PDP. Before we get started, I've got a couple notes. First, as usual, everything that I talk about in my videos can be found on the blog links page, which is linked in the description below. Second, the upgrade that we're looking at today does not in any way alter the internal function of this weapon. It's an external only change. Furthermore, similar parts are available directly from Walther, so we're not altering this firearm in any way that cannot also be had directly from the manufacturer. And last but not least, if you appreciate what I'm doing here, consider throwing me a super thanks. From the guns to the optics and especially to the ammo, this channel is entirely self-funded out of my own pocket, so any and every little bit definitely helps. So what is this wondrous must-have upgrade? Well, sights. Specifically, tall sights that allow a co-witness with an optic, or allow sighting over a suppressor even. From the factory, the PDP comes with a set of sights that's relatively standard. They can be adjusted for windage and elevation, but otherwise they're pretty unremarkable. This is even more obvious when you take into account that every PDP is optic ready from the factory. The factory sights are nowhere near tall enough to be able to co-witness with an optic. As a result, the user is left with essentially no sighting system in the event that their mounted optic goes down. Now, thankfully, the PDP was designed to work with Glock-style sights, so remedying this issue is cost-effective and relatively simple. There are seemingly countless options for Glock-style sights, so finding a set that's taller height for the PDP is as easy as a trip to most sporting goods stores or even a couple minutes searching Amazon or eBay. Now, for the purposes of this video, I picked up a set of Ameriglo GL429s. These are XL height sights that are completely blacked out. The front sight is serrated for glare reduction, and the back is just completely blank and completely blacked out. No other markings on this. This is my preferred setup for co-witness sights, as it lets my brain more easily ignore the sights even though they're always in my field of view. If you prefer a 3-dot or even a night sight setup, again, the options are out there for you. It just takes a little bit of digging. This is just my personal preference. These sights will give you a very low co-witness with most optics, as you can see. That's what I think most people are looking for and why I chose this height. I personally prefer an absolute co-witness, and if you want that, you're going to want to pick up a set that's slightly taller than these. I will roll in the info on these sights somewhere here on the screen. The MSRP for these is $60, but you can easily find these for under $50 with a very minimal amount of digging. Mounting the Ameriglo sights is straightforward and can be done at home with the right tools. I can't show you the installation, but I can walk you through it for the most part. First though, you are going to need a few specialized tools. The first thing you're going to need is a Glock front sight tool. As I mentioned in the Taurus G3 upgrades video, it's technically possible to replace the front sight without it, but having one makes it a million times easier. The other tool you're going to need is a rear sight pusher tool. Some sights you can get away with using a punch and a hammer to install them, but this combination is definitely not going to be one of them. The Ameriglo sight is a very tight fit into this PDP dovetail, which makes this a necessity. Also, make sure you invest and get a quality sight pusher tool, as the cheap Amazon ones are likely going to break or damage the slide with the amount of force that is going to be needed to get this guy into place. Now, with the tools taken care of, the first step is to break down the PDP and remove the barrel and recoil system as you normally would for cleaning and maintenance. Okay, now the PDP is down to its bare slide, we can start taking off the sights. We'll start with the front one there. The factory front sight, which I have here, as you can see is a Glock style, so it unscrews from the bottom and then it lifts up off of the slide. And then the Ameriglo sight drops in from the top and screws in from the bottom right there. Now, as for the rear sight, it gets pressed out of this dovetail mount and the Ameriglo gets pressed into its place. Now, I also have a few things for you to consider when you're mounting these sights as well. In the front, there's this polymer spacer here that the PDP runs that needs to be moved out of the way to be able to access that bottom screw. I just kind of grabbed it with my fingers and moved it out. Went straight. Second thing to consider, it's always smart to put a little Loctite or thread locker on that front sight screw. As you can see with the factory sight, that screw is the only thing holding that thing in. So make sure you've got a dab of thread locker on that guy. Last, don't forget to take your PDP out to the range and verify that the sights are lined up and zeroed once they're installed. There are precious few things in this world that are less useful than a set of sights that are not zeroed. Now, with those sights mounted up and the weapon reassembled, I would say that my one biggest gripe about the PDP is pretty much taken care of. Not only do we have sights that co-witness with that optic, but they're also made out of metal and they offer a little more durability. Next time on the channel, we're going to be taking a look at mounting an optic onto one of the concealed carry test guns. So if that interests you, make sure you're subscribed and you've got that bell rung. If you know someone with a PDP, go ahead and share them this video because it really helps the algorithm. Throw me a like or a comment if you appreciate what I'm doing. And if you really appreciate what I'm doing, again, think about throwing me a super thanks. That's all I've got for you this time. So until next time, stay safe.